Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat Reality. I'm Molly,
And Michael.
and today we're here recording in person in Houston. Exciting to do this in person today, and we are excited also to talk about Summer House season 10. A lot to go into there, as we know, with all the recent stuff and the reunion part one that just dropped. So, are you ready to get into it?
It's a lot. We haven't
Yeah,
covered Summer House since the premiere this season. We did talk about the scandal when it broke,
yeah.
but in terms of just talking about an episode, it's been a while and a lot has happened since then. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
excited to get into it all.
I know. Think back to the episode that we talked about first, the
I
premiere. So much has
know.
happened since then.
Yeah, we talked about it with Matt Lagori, and
Yeah.
it was we didn't know any of the newbies then, and we had no concept of an idea that anything was happening with Amanda and West or what happened in the future, depending on whose timeline you believe. So, yeah, it's been a wild journey.
Yeah, definitely. So before we get into more of the recent stuff in the reunion, just what were your thoughts overall on this season?
I thought it was a good season. I did, even if take out the scandal of it all. I think the newbies generally worked. I liked all of them. I think. I mean, if I'm thinking back, I
Ben?
mean,
Did you like Ben?
I did. He brought something to the
That's
season at
true.
least. Unfortunately, Levi did not. But
Yeah.
I love the conspiracy theory that she's Bailey's imaginary friend and that she's the only one that can see her. And so I'm obsessed with that. And I think for that alone, it was worth it to have her here. So, but I think last season's newbies, for example, did not work at all, and so they both did not return this season, and that can be tough for a show to invest time in getting to know newbies that then are just one season wonders and don't work. And so I think it was a big risk for them to bring in as many as they did this season, but it certainly paid off in the fact that I think we still have a show next season with the cast dynamics. It's very unclear who's going to return and who's not, who's going to move over to In the City, who's not going to come back at all. But I think the fact that they now have this kind of next generation that they already started to usher in, we don't have to do a complete reboot like Vanderpump did.
Yeah, I agree. I did like the newbies, and we got to see a lot, especially from Bailey. I feel like she
Mm-hmm.
got the most of the screen time there, and also KJ as well. So I think definitely I can see them for sure coming
And I
back.
think Mia, to me,
And
is
me,
the
oh,
star
I know. I
of.
almost don't think of her as a newbie because
Right.
I'm like
It does.
she doesn't
Exactly.
seem that
It doesn't
way.
feel like it. No, exactly. She does not feel like a newbie. And that
Yeah,
is the best thing you can say about a newbie on a show like this. She
yeah,
just fit in so seamlessly. And I think she is, to me, like the newbie of the year so far on
yeah,
Bravo in general, maybe on reality TV in general, that I can think of off the top of my head, because Survivor clearly has not given us any newbies so far. And Big Brother hasn't started yet. So, of the
yeah,
shows that I can think of off the top of my head that we have covered in 2026, Traders doesn't have any newbies. So, like, yeah, I think
yeah.
so far she's the one that I can think of that I think she killed it this
Oh
season.
yeah, I loved Mia. So that was a fun add to the season for sure. And I enjoyed the season. It was interesting also obviously from what we knew from real time what was going on to watch that back and have as the season was going, like hearing the rumors about Amanda and Wes and
Yeah,
then trying to then pinpoint things like during the season of like, okay, like yeah, that was flirty. Like
yeah,
that crossed the line. Like I don't know if everyone would have caught on to everything if it hadn't been that so public knowledge of what was going on with them. So I like that. It was like kind of, I mean, social media and everything spoils things now. So if we didn't have that, it would have been a different season, I think for sure.
yeah, for sure. It's like watching. I mean, I'm sure I will reference in the future Vanderpump Rules, what happened,
Yeah.
Scandival. That it was so interesting watching that season back once we knew what what had happened, the affair, and it was like piecing little clues together and like this detective game as you're watching the rest of the season. And here it's kind of the same thing, that we were
Yeah.
watching every time that they, he kissed her on the neck or the cheek or whatever, and every time they hugged and made eye contact, it's like, oh my god, was this happening then? How far does this go back? Like, was there an emotional affair? Was like, it's so interesting to examine every scene and to watch it back with a new eye. And I think that but it was a good season without that
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
and I
I
think
agree.
that's the main thing. There was a lot happening. There was a fresh energy, and I would have enjoyed the. I was enjoying the season before we knew what happened, and I enjoyed it even more after.
Yeah, definitely. So, shall we get into more of the reunion now?
A lot to get to.
Yes, let's do it. So, first off, it started with seeing the clip of with Amanda or Lindsay finding out about Amanda and Wes from she was having a confessional for In the City. Kyle's there too, and they're reading it live
Yeah.
as we see this happening. Like this is the announcement that we all saw of the public apology. What was it? Like not really apology,
I
public
don't know that the
statement.
words in
Yeah.
Amanda's own words from the season 6 reunion, the apology did not contain the word apology in
No.
it.
So
And
yeah,
so
that was an interesting one. But so we see the live reactions of them reading that confessional moment for the start of this reunion. So what did you think about that?
yeah, so I thought it was very interesting the way that they did that. It was a unique way to lead into this. I wonder how much of that was really happening in real time. Of like, was that really Lindsay's first time reading it? Was it Kyle's? Like, I couldn't tell even like had he read it before and he was telling Lindsay like check. Or
It
did
seemed
he
like
just
he
hear?
had.
I couldn't tell if he had heard that the statement came out, but like he hadn't actually read it yet.
Okay.
I don't know. I have no way. We have no way of knowing, like what really
Mhm.
happened there. But I assume it's also interesting because like they don't film their confessionals together. So like I guess he
Yeah.
was there maybe to film his confessionals right after she did hers. I don't know if they do them all on the same day like that. I don't know how that works exactly. But it was. I thought it was very fun the way that they were calling in people. People were calling them. They were like like 5-way call, and
I know.
it was chaotic. But
It felt like very much like this is actually what was happening in the moment
I think that was real. Yeah.
because the phone call piece, like that's what you do. Like you would see if,
Mhm.
especially with how close they are as friends, or they're all filmed together in Summer House. So like they all have the same. All obviously are seeing this at the same time. If this is really like how real time was it, but like it was probably the same day
I do
of what
believe it was the
happened.
same day. Yes, I
Yeah,
believe it was the same day. I just wonder, like, with Lindsay, it felt like she was her first time reading it. I just wasn't sure with Kyle whether he had read it beforehand or whether that was his first time hearing it, like the
yeah,
word for word, also. But
yeah. That's fair.
it was a really fascinating watch,
Yeah.
and it I thought it was a good way to kick it off.
I agree. Definitely got the convo started. And obviously then that's what started the whole then reunion what they started talking about as well with Amanda and Wes. But before we get to that, do you have any favorite looks from the reunion?
I mean, Ciara killed it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think we were all so curious after Ariana's famous revenge dress from the Vanderpump reunion. Like, what is Ciara gonna do here? And I think she absolutely killed it. Lindsay also, I thought, looked great in her own revenge dress for some reason
Yeah.
to make up for Kyle, I guess. I thought she looked amazing. I thought they all looked good. I think Amanda's was maybe the most controversial. I've heard, like, some people liked it, some people didn't. Her look, I had no strong feelings either way about it.
Yeah, definitely Sierra is the top one there. I feel like no one could beat her. Her
Yeah.
look, it was incredible.
I mean, she's just like, she could wear a paper bag and look incredible.
Yeah.
So, like.
Yeah, she needed to come out there with her revenge look, of course.
And she did. And she
she
did it great.
yes, exactly. So then, what were your thoughts on how Amanda and Wes were handling themselves during this reunion?
Um, I was surprised by the way Amanda handled herself because I kind of thought she was going to be very emotional the whole reunion and that she was going to really kind of try to play the victim and make people feel sorry for her. But that is not the direction that she went in at all. She
Mhm.
was kind of rolling her eyes at a lot of what Ciara was saying. She was very emotionless until the very, very end. You could see her tearing up. But for the rest of the time, she was just kind of very stone faced and
Mhm.
seemingly just kind of I don't know. It felt like that's not Amanda.
You just wouldn't think she would do that to her best friend, but
Yeah.
now she has, and she has to own it. And I think she really, it didn't seem, or it seemed that in the reunion that she wasn't even thinking it was bad on her part, though.
Yeah, that's what's so
Which
crazy.
that's what I was really upset about seeing from Amanda. I was like, I thought she would at least feel remorse for it, and it didn't seem like at all that she felt bad.
And that's what like I think I don't remember whether I said this on the pod or just like maybe texted y'all about this, but like when the rumors first started coming out, but like they weren't confirmed yet, I thought that maybe what this situation was that they kissed one time and that
Yeah.
she immediately was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And that's where like the rumors came from that maybe like there was some sort of someone was there. I don't know how it would have come out. I don't know. Like looking back, it doesn't really make sense. But
Yeah.
I thought maybe I could see that as a thing that happened, like in a vulnerable moment. But
Mhm.
the fact that not only is this a full blown relationship now, but also she seemingly really doesn't have any remorse for it.
Yeah.
It really, from her reunion behavior, it just feels like she was either like on something that made her just like completely out of it. Like we saw that with Vicky Gunvalson at a reunion for Orange County a long time ago, where like she was in the hot seat and she just like took a bunch of Xanax before and she was like not there
Yeah.
like mentally. Maybe something like that. I don't know, like that was causing her to be like that. But otherwise, like she just like was rolling her eyes. She was like telling Ciara to shut the F up. Like she was like, oh my God, like it's like you can't possibly have gone all this time. This was like a month, filmed like a month
Ugh.
after this whole thing came out.
Yeah.
Seeing the public reaction to it, seeing how like what you've done to your friend, like most importantly, not what the
Yeah.
audience thinks, but like what Sierra is
Sierra.
feeling, and you just still don't get it.
No.
And Wes just
I,
sat there completely
no.
silent almost the entire reunion.
I know. He
Which
didn't say
I will
anything.
say this in Wes' defense. So we know that his, if correct me if I'm wrong, I believe his grandmother was murdered by his cousin, and that happened the night before the reunion.
Oh my gosh.
And so I can't. Sorry if it's his grandmother, or grandfather. I can't remember, but that I would assume also played into his mental state coming into that day. So I do want to give him that credit that like he
Hmm.
for him to even show up after that, like it
Yeah.
is, it is says something.
Yeah. No, but it was definitely interesting to
Yeah,
see how they just really didn't show much, or especially Amanda didn't show much emotion about it, and it just seemed like she just didn't want to be there anymore. Didn't want to. Even like before the reunion started, Andy was like, "Wow, you guys seem very calm," because like they knew they were about to be in the hot seat. But I guess
yeah,
there was no other reaction they could have in that moment because they didn't know what was going to be. But then once it's happening, you should really maybe counteract how you're feeling and acting in that way to try to make some amends, not really amends, but just like to talk through it more. But it just felt like it wasn't going to happen.
yeah. It felt like they were both kind of in a thing of don't say anything unless you are specifically asked a question, and don't show any sort of, it's like when you are, I don't know, like in court or something, and like
Yeah.
they say like don't say anything that could admit guilt.
Yeah.
And it was just like they are saying nothing that would insinuate that they think they did anything wrong almost. Like it was like, why do y'all think this is such a big deal? Like who hasn't done something like this? Like what?
I know. And the timelines of things, like even Jesse is like, why continue to lie? Like Wes
Right.
is saying stuff, and then Jesse's like, what? Like you're not even saying the truth.
Yeah. And which
And
Jesse, and they talked about this, that like, is Jesse Tom Schwartz? Like, did he know more than he was letting on? I think after this reunion, I can
no,
confidently say I don't think he did.
no, I don't think
I
so.
don't think he's the Schwartz here. I think that West was lying to him just as much as he was lying to Sierra and Kyle and whoever else he was talking to.
Yeah. Yep. But definitely we'll watch out for what they act like in the second, third parts, but
Yeah.
probably the same, I would assume.
I would say like part two probably is going to focus mostly on other things besides
Yeah.
this. So I think they're going to probably be off the hot seat a bit. But I think part three will come right back around to it, and we'll spend almost entirety of part three talking about this. So I'll be interested to see that.
Yeah,
But by
definitely.
then we will be covering Love Island,
Yeah.
and sorry, have not much time unless something major happens to talk about it. But that's why we wanted to get this in now after
Yeah.
part one.
Yes, and this was the juicy parts too,
Yeah.
especially now. But then what were your thoughts about Sierra and Kyle and how they handle themselves?
Well, Kyle first didn't really say much.
Yeah.
And he has said on social media where he's like, later on, he does say more.
Okay.
So I think part three, I would expect, like, we're going to hear more from Kyle and his perspective on all this. But I will say, before the reunion, he has been defending Amanda a lot. Like, not defending what she did, but just basically saying, like, y'all don't, like, she struggles mentally, like, don't pile on too much. Like, look, she's in a tough situation. I'm a little worried about her mental state. So, like, don't go too
Hmm.
crazy on her, which I respect.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have to do that. He did not, like, they were seeing everything play out with their relationship that was not good. And for him to defend her and try to make it a little bit easier on her, I think says a lot about him as a person. And I've always liked Kyle. I really have. Like, I was with Amanda and Kyle, like, they're two good people who just aren't a good match for each other and not looking for the same things. And so
Yeah.
this reinforces that for me, that I do like Kyle.
Yeah, I saw people saying online that he's a better husband after they separated than when they were together,
Yeah,
which is interesting. But I think he is just noticing all the hate that she's getting and really doesn't want her to be put down even more than she already feels for her mental health sake. So it is. I respect Kyle for that and
for sure.
the way he was handling it. He was even like telling Ciara at the end there, like he was like that was harsh, like what Ciara was going in at Amanda for. But I feel like Ciara had every right to say what she did with her reactions and her emotions there, like very valid with how she was portraying it and everything that happened. Like it was directly impacting her the most, I'd say, because of Wes being her ex and Amanda being her best friend. So like with Ciara coming out there with the details, the receipts, not really receipts, but, or she had receipts of their text messages and Amanda not answering, like that's just really weird. If she had no idea what was happening, they even went and watched what happened live after the fact that she had kissed West. So it was just like a weird situation for
Hmm.
Ciara for sure. But I feel like we got to hear how she was feeling about it and how she presented it to everyone, like was very clear and was a good explanation, I feel like, with hearing from our side of knowing exactly how she was feeling throughout this all too.
I think Sierra killed it.
Yeah.
Like, I think she absolutely. I no notes. 10 out of 10, no notes for me with Sierra. I think that she, to compare it to how Ariana handled the Vanderpump Rules reunion, and different situations, different. Like, I don't want to say that they're in the exact same situations or one's worse or better than the other. But Ariana, I think some people felt like went too far with some of the things that she said, which I don't. I think that she had every right in that moment to say whatever the hell she wanted to Rachel and Tom. But I think Sierra, I don't see how anyone could say that she went too far with anything that she said. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think she didn't, like, really make any, like, super low blows.
I feel like at the very end, maybe a little bit, but that was it.
Maybe, but, like, that was more, if anything, like, that was kind of a stray for Kyle.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that
true.
wasn't even really, like, for Amanda. Like,
Yeah.
but I just think that she said everything that she needed to say, and I can't see where I would have said that she could have done any better than she did. Like, I think that she had a comeback for everything,
Yeah.
and she was quick, and it didn't feel rehearsed. It didn't feel like too prepared. It just felt like she was saying how she needed to say to respond to the way that Amanda was acting. That was kind of like smug a little bit and seemingly super callous.
Yeah.
And I think that she reacted very well to that, but listened when she needed to, like,
Yeah.
also, and didn't, like, interrupt too many times, or, like, it felt like she was responding to what was in front of her and not just, like, rage, like, without even with being willing to listen. And so I thought she did great.
Yeah, I agree. And I loved Mia's moments in that as well. When they were
Yeah,
going back and forth and the eye roll, that was amazing.
Mia was great as well. I think that
Yeah.
she stood up for Sierra. She did everything that you would want your best friend to do in that situation.
Yeah, for sure. So now let's talk about this timeline of what we claim to have started everything. Is the first kiss was March 1st. And then the first time they slept together was March 31st after releasing that joint statement. So they hadn't slept together before this joint statement is what they've claimed. And then Sierra began to question things on January 17th so prior to this stuff happening, when she saw Amanda at West's apartment.
Hmm.
So she thinks this could have happened before March 1st, but that they're claiming March 1st, and then the sleeping together just happened after the statement, which makes for me to think that it happened after the statement. Like, why did they make it so cryptic in this statement? Like,
Yeah.
they weren't really dating then if they hadn't even hooked up yet. Like, in
Yeah.
my opinion, like, it seemed like, I mean, obviously now we also know with all the stuff with Wes and Miha, and like there's messiness with that too. So it's like, so why, what was this about in this moment?
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's one of those things where I just don't know whether I believe the timeline because I don't have any reason not to, but I also don't have any reason to believe it. Like they
Yeah.
clearly like if you have any brain cells, you're going to get your story straight before you come there.
Yeah.
And whether it's a true story or a not true story, like you're going to make sure that your stories align with each other,
Yeah.
which Tom and Raquel did not do. But I just don't, it doesn't matter to me so much what the timeline is because whatever the timeline is, it doesn't matter because the bottom line is that Amanda did not, and Wes did not tell Ciara or Kyle when they first started to have these feelings for each
Yeah.
other.
They just
So,
hid it from them the whole time.
right. So the only timeline I care about is the fact that they did this and hid it from them rather than saying something at the very start that I mean, Amanda said in this reunion, I think it was Amanda that said this, like, I probably should have said to you, hey, I'm having these feelings that I don't know what to do with for somebody that I'm not supposed to have feelings for. Done. That's all you needed to say.
Yeah.
And then at least, yes, Sierra could have still been upset with her. And I think
Yeah.
she would have had every right to still be upset with her. But at least she could say, you know what, you did come to me, and maybe they don't need to be as close as they were. Maybe they don't need to be friends at all after that. Like
Mm.
maybe for me, for Sierra's own sake, like she needs to take a step back and not be friends with her. But I don't think there would be this anger and this whole scandal and this whole like it wouldn't have become what it is now if she had just said something at the start.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just it's just messy. And now at this point, it's like they don't even seem like they have that much chemistry, Amanda and Wes. I mean, and the way
Yeah,
the
do you think
reunion,
that they're going to
I don't know. She
stay
was very,
together?
her body language was like very like not towards him, but I guess because she was also anxious the whole time, probably. But
And like you would think that she might not want to like rub it in Sierra's face either. Like
yeah,
that may be something she's being careful of like don't make it look like I'm being too lovey-dovey towards him because that won't look good for the audience and to Sierra.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
that she's cared about Sierra's feelings this whole time, I guess, but
I
you
don't
know.
know. It's all weird stuff, but I feel like, I mean, even Sierra was saying this, that it's like if you're doing it like this, like you have to stay together. Like it's like if you're backstabbing one of your best friends and like you're all in the same friend group and this is gonna happen, like you have to just do it full force and like get married, you know? Like, but I don't know if that's gonna happen for them. But I just don't see it happening.
I don't either. I think that they're trauma bonding right now.
Yeah,
They're kind of the most hated people in the Bravo world, and so they're just kind of
yeah,
like they feel like they need to each other's support to get through this. I think probably within, I'm going to say within 4 or 5 months, they will not be together anymore. Once like this whole thing calms down in the city and like they're kind of out of the spotlight for a minute, I think they're going to turn to each other and be like, I don't know that we really are ready to like move forward with each other. We're just kind of like we needed each other in the moment. It's kind of a thing where like Amanda was in a vulnerable place and West loves fame. I don't know.
mm,
and probably does care for Amanda, but I think that he's going to realize that he doesn't necessarily like have romantic feelings for her in the terms of like wanting to get married. And I think Amanda's going to realize that at some point she's going to realize once all this calms down that, oh my God, I can't believe what I just did. And then I think between both of those emotions, they're not going to be together anymore.
yeah. Time will
And
tell.
especially if either or both of them are not on
Summer
either one
House.
of the shows, Summer House or in the city. Like once they're away from like the spotlight in that way too, of like not having to film together, like not kind of being out of the Bravo world.
Hmm.
I think that will also play a factor into, especially with West, who I think is somebody who wants to keep climbing the social ladder. Right? If he doesn't need Amanda anymore, if Amanda's not giving him the fame and notoriety, then I think that might also turn him away.
Yeah, I mean that's what Lindsay was saying. He's
Yeah,
just a social climber. So
which I've always had a soft spot for West before this. I don't know that I do anymore.
no, he's not a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
He just plays people. But we'll see what happens with him and Amanda. So time will tell. But looking back, we saw also in the reunion the text between Ciara and Amanda that Ciara read.
Mhm.
So what were your thoughts on that exchange?
I liked hearing these
Yeah.
texts because I think that we all were kind of wondering what was Amanda telling Sierra and how much had Sierra suspected things that were happening. And so it does seem like that she really was like, because I thought maybe this totally completely blindsided her, that she was like defending Amanda, like, no, she would never do this to me, blah, blah, blah. And then either, in the days, like a day or two before the statement came out with the rumors were really hitting, like that was when she like
Mhm.
was kind of had this epiphany. But
Yeah.
it does seem like she was suspicious for a while, which was interesting. And that kind of maybe lends more credence to what I remember hearing when this first came out about how they like hired a private investigator and maybe Paige hired it or something,
Yeah.
and that they were suspecting things for a while. And I still don't know whether how true that was, but it does lead credence to the fact that like Sarah was suspicious, so maybe they could have done something like that. And
Yeah.
that's what really confirmed it. So I don't know, but I thought, yeah, I mean, it's crazy that Amanda just completely lied right to her
Yeah.
and just was saying, no, the fans are crazy. And like, you would
At
think
that point, you should
there's
say that.
so many
Yeah.
opportunities. That's what's crazy. Like, she was asked verbatim,
Hmm.
or is this happening? Is anything happening? Are you holding hands at the table? Are you like all this, which is a reference to in season
Oh, I
6? Do you
saw that.
know that?
Yeah, when she
Yeah.
was holding Craig's hand.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And now it's like, was there something? Did Amanda have feelings for Craig? Who knows?
She just wanted the
Like
attention.
that seemed so crazy at the time, but
Yeah. No, I know that was really crazy. I don't know what's going on with Amanda's head,
because
but
now I've heard that like after that, Paige took a step back from Amanda,
yeah.
and that she thought something weird. So like,
Hmm.
I guess that was a good thing she did.
Yeah. No, for sure. I don't know what's yeah, it's just all messy.
Yeah,
But
I needed Paige to come out at
I
this
know
reunion. I
I needed
needed it.
her.
I needed it. Uh, But
Yeah.
she and Hannah are at the Las Culturistas Award last night that they
Oh,
filmed with Sarah there. So I wonder if this will come up at all, whether they'll pan to like Paige and Hannah and maybe get like at least like facial reactions from them. I don't know, but yeah, I did miss Paige. Like I really all season, like I thought it was great. I love Paige, but I didn't like miss her watching it so much as much as I thought I would because there was enough happening.
yeah.
But here, I really would have loved to get her reaction.
Oh yeah, definitely. But we had Mia, so she was kind of
True,
our step
she
in
is.
page.
She really, really was. Like
Yeah.
she was the fill-in Paige, and I thought she did a great job.
Yeah.
I think she went from maybe a substitute teacher to full time for me. Like that, she's not just a replacement Paige, best friend for Sierra. She's her own person now.
Yes, exactly. And then she also did talk about how she broke up with her boyfriend Scott, which I feel like I could see that happening. Like from when we saw from the season, like kind of sense that that was looming around that could happen. So I wasn't surprised to hear that. But so sad.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a tough situation that was maybe a little bit rocky, anyways, during filming. And so I think this makes sense that it wasn't going to pan out. Whether he's, a great guy, it just seemed like long distance and the, you know, so busy. Like yeah, it makes sense that it didn't work.
Yeah, for sure. Well, then we took a break from the Amanda West of it all. We're hearing about the Ben Bailey feud again. So, what do you think
That's
about
so funny
that?
to me because Ben Bailey is the name of a game show host who
Oh,
used to host Cash Cab. So that's funny.
that's funny. Well, Ben versus Bailey. And also with the Sabrina of it all, what were your thoughts on that? And do you think that Ben and Sabrina were with each other the whole time?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I think that she was, maybe they weren't exclusive, but I think she was certainly in the background the whole time. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
picture they showed from April.
Yeah.
So, like, it was funny because Bailey said June and then they captioned it
The
April, not
era.
June, which you would think, like, in theory, like, when I first saw that, I was like, oh, it was after. And then I looked at it, I was like, wait, no, April. That's even
That's
earlier. That's even
earlier.
worse.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was funny, but
Well, he did mention that he was dating someone and he couldn't commit because he was like scared about it. So I think he just never like fully realized that until he went to the summer and
mhm.
then was like, okay, yeah, I don't want this to just be kind of a casual
That's
thing.
true. That's possible, yeah.
And then it became serious
hmm
again.
No, that's very possible that it wasn't
Yeah.
malicious. It was kind of a situation where time and being in a situation where you're supposed to kind of be like
Single.
flirting,
Yeah.
single, yeah. And it makes you realize, like, oh, I think I actually really like what I have back home.
Yeah.
So that's very possible that it wasn't, he didn't purposely hide her just to be malicious.
Yeah. Yeah. But we'll see if he comes back. I don't think so. But
Oh, you don't think Ben's gonna come
I
back?
don't know. I don't see it as much. I mean, I definitely see Bailey coming back,
Yeah, for sure.
but I don't
That's
know.
interesting. I don't know. To me Levi's the only like confirmed not coming
Yeah.
back. But there are so many of them, and so many of them I think should come back, like KJ and Mia and Bailey. But so like I think Ben would be the one probably that's most on the bubble,
Mhm.
but I guess it would depend. I think they either go full force into them and bring Sabrina full time too, or they don't bring either of them and just kind of go off of that direction. So I think it's either
Yeah.
like kind of all or nothing, maybe depending, can they find some good newbies to bring in, or maybe they don't want to bring in too many newbies since they brought in so many this season. I
Yeah.
think it just kind of depends what direction they want to go
That makes sense. And I did like Sabrina when she came in. Like I was like, oh, she's a fun personality to see. And
in. You did?
well, you didn't like her?
No.
I thought it was like good
I thought
TV.
she was trying too hard. I think she's like a Summer House fan who like
Well, that's
immediately
fair.
clinged on to Ciara because she's the most popular
Well, yeah, I didn't like
and
that.
and tried to get into a fight with Amanda, and like it kind of felt too forced to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe we need to get her like once she's like we get to see more of her and get like a fuller picture. Maybe I'll soften to her, but I think it's just sometimes these people that just like come in too hard because they know they're on a reality show that I don't gravitate towards the most.
That is fair. I just feel like, I mean, she was, I liked generally that it was like, you could see that she cared about Ben. Like their relationship seemed
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
like
believe that
they
there's.
were
Yeah.
steady, which
hmm
we don't always get from the couples in
Yeah.
Summer House.
No, I
So
believe that they both like
yeah,
are into each other, and I that's not the issue at all.
yeah, it was just her friendship
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. But we also see some of the flirtiness of Carl and Bailey, and we hear that they were continuing to hang out, but they are saying friends for now. It seemed that they're in different places in life and different ages. They're 10 years apart. So just may not be the most compatible in this time of their lives. But I like them together. Like seeing them, like I really do like them. I want to root for
Yeah.
them, but I don't want to, obviously, their lives are their lives. So I can't say they need to be together, but uh,
I'll say it.
you say they need to be together?
I do.
Okay.
I think they do. I think they're really cute together. I think that
Yeah.
they seem to have a very it's a cute, like almost like middle school relationship,
Mhm.
like in a good way of like
Yeah.
it's just very innocent. It's very just like I think that
They like to giggle
Yeah,
together.
and I think they both kind of just have a crush on each other, but neither one of them wants to like make the first move or ruin the friendship or like, it's very cute. And I could definitely see them giving it a try if they both come back next season. I think that they will at least give it a shot.
Okay, yeah, I think so too. I mean, there's no bad blood with them at all, so it's just like a timing wise
I think
thing.
it's just a thing of neither of them wanting to potentially
Ruin the
ruin
friendship.
a good friendship that they've
Yeah.
built. But I could see it if they both come back next summer. I think that them spending that much time together, and probably there will be some pressure to push them towards each other. I think that they'll give it a try and see what
Yeah.
happens.
I mean, they kissed each other in front of everyone, so
Hmm.
that was a little bit of pressure that happened
Yeah.
already. And that was good. They both were like, yeah, that was a really good kiss.
Hmm.
So,
But I think like especially Carl, I think there's a lot of questions of like, is he going to come back to Summer House? Is he going to move
mhm.
over to In the City? But In the City is mostly like people in
Families.
relationships
Yeah.
and move in the next chapter. And Carl's not in that place yet. But if like Kyle moves on full time to In the City, does he fit in anymore on Summer House? But I think like him potentially like starting this relationship with Bailey would be a very organic way to keep him on Summer House. So that's why I really think either the producers are going to pressure that or he is going to realize that that's his key to continue on
Yeah.
and kind of decide to go in that direction because of that. So we'll see.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I am rooting for Carl and Bailey. So we'll have to keep an eye out on socials for that.
What's their couple name? Barl or Kaylee?
I think I like Kaylee.
Kind of like Barl
Bar.
because Kaylee's a name.
Oh, that's true. Okay, well, we can call them Barl if they don't
Barl.
have a name
Hashtag
yet.
hashtag Barl.
Hashtag Barl. And then we get to a little bit more emotional stuff hearing from KJ. And he revealed that he went to the hospital for a week in the fall because of self harm. And he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And then he said he went to recovery for a few months. And Ciara and Mia were there for him every step of that way. So it's really heartwarming to see that they are still really close friends. And KJ is getting the support he needed, but it's obviously a tough time for sure.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. I had
Yeah.
no idea that any of that had happened. And
No.
it's kind of wild, like, to have a huge thing like that happen and it not come out at all publicly. And that was a
Yeah.
while ago, it seems like. So the fact
Yeah.
that, like, this was sitting, like, that was what a reveal. And
Everyone was
I,
so focused on Amanda and
I
Wes.
know, but like props to him for being so open about it
Yeah.
and being willing to discuss that. And I love hearing that Mia and Sierra were there for him,
Mhm.
and that everybody was supportive of it, of course.
Yeah.
And um, I just feel so bad for KJ. I mean, he's such a kind soul. It
I
seems like
know.
he's so innocent, and I really thought he was a great addition to the season. And I think the fact that he is so open about this will hopefully help a lot of people. And yeah, I think he's great.
I agree. I'm glad that he was here this past season and hopefully and we'll see him more in the next season.
Did you see that Mia? So Mia post, or maybe it was KJ that posted the picture. That Mia's. Okay, I'm gonna get this wrong probably. Mia's older sister and Carl's mom were like roommates in college.
No.
That there's a picture of them from
What?
decades ago.
I didn't know
That they
this.
were like besties,
That's so
and that
funny.
that that they had no idea when they first met.
They didn't
Uh,
remember each other? Or no, the
No,
kids. Like the
yeah,
parents.
yeah.
Okay.
Mia and KJ had never met,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
her sister and his mother
Or
apparently
yeah,
were
the
like,
family.
yeah.
Wow.
So isn't that crazy?
That is
What a
really crazy.
coincidence!
Wow.
Small world.
It's a small world for sure.
It
But
was meant to be.
yeah, exactly. They meant to be friends. But then we hear that Kyle thinks Wes wanted to make amends with Sierra during the summer to get back on the audience's good side. So just playing up to the audience what he thinks they want to see. And then Lindsay calls him manipulative and says that he'll drop Amanda as soon as she doesn't serve his needs anymore, as we were kind of mentioning already. So, what were your thoughts on this little bit here?
Yeah, I oh my god, I just completely forgot what you said. Can you
Uh,
repeat?
We can just cut
I
this
don't.
out.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I was totally blanking. I was
No,
like,
no,
oh
it's
my god, I
okay.
know you just read this, but what did you just say?
I'll say it in a better way, honestly. It wasn't as good. Okay. So then we get to see Kyle talking about how he thought Wes just wanted to make amends with Sierra because of just being on her good side, and that would be what the audience wanted to see. And then Lindsay then called him manipulative and says that he'll drop Amanda as soon as she doesn't serve him anymore. So we actually already kind of mentioned that part of it. But what were your thoughts on Kyle coming in, chiming in about that as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that
Yeah.
right now with what we're seeing. I think that Lindsay clocked. I loved Lindsay this episode too. I
Yeah.
thought she was just she was perfect. Like just saying exactly what other people are afraid to say so clearly and
Mhm.
concisely. And yeah, I think that Kyle and Lindsay were both just right on about this. And others have clocked. I mean, if you go back to reunions, to West's first reunion, you see like Paige clocked that with him. You see that others had, even Amanda actually
I
even
know.
kind
I
of
keep on
clocked him.
seeing that clip now come up on TikTok. It's like, this is what Amanda said to Wes, and now this is what
Yeah,
he's kind of doing to her.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know what happened there,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's proven to be right. That I
Yeah.
think that West is very good at just kind of playing this sheepish, like, oh, I'm sorry, I just am trying to do the right thing, and I don't mean to hurt anyone. But I think he's a lot more calculated than he lets on, and I think they're right about the fact that he really just wants to gain fans and become more famous and kind of climb this social ladder. And that I don't know if he had ulterior motives for being with Amanda, and the fact that knowing that this would be some big scandal or to get back at Sierra and get revenge on her. I don't know. But I think that it certainly is reasonable to be suspicious of that based on the patterns that we're seeing with him.
Yeah. No, I just don't think he's thinking straight in those situations, like with the love life category. But I think with, in terms of the show and like trying to be on Sierra's good side, obviously that's gonna see well to the audience in a way because everyone loves Sierra, but then what you do in backstab her is gonna take a total opposite hit there. So I don't think
Yeah.
it worked at all in his favor. So it was just interesting to see. And he didn't really have any rebuttal there. Like he couldn't really back himself up, it seemed like so that
I
made it.
mean, what can you
Yeah,
say?
he can't say anything.
I think that anything he says is going to be understandably picked apart, and nobody's going to believe him right now, at the very least. Maybe give it some time, and if he does come back next season, which is certainly a question mark,
Yeah.
then maybe people will, with some time, be a little more receptive to having a conversation. Although, actually, I think he and Kyle filmed a conversation like very recently
Oh.
that West doesn't know whether it was going to be filmed for in the city or Summer House. I would assume in the city, probably.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe after the finale, they'll do kind of like a 6 months later type of thing,
Oh yeah.
and maybe they'll air that conversation. So, because we saw the Amanda and Kyle conversation at the
Yeah.
beginning of In the City, so maybe they'll end it with like a more real time thing like that too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be curious to see what that, because I mean, it seemed like Wes thought that it went well relatively. So,
Yeah.
but at this reunion, I think Amanda and Wes just like what they should have done is just say, you know what, we're gonna take the bullets, not fight back, like just let everybody say what they need to say to us. Like, when spoken to, show remorse, and be open about the timeline and everything that happened, but don't try to defend it, and don't be
Yeah.
sarcastic, don't minimize it, don't make people feel like they're making too big of a deal out of it. Like, don't do any of that. And clearly they didn't
They
do
didn't listen
most of
to
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. That was very surprising to see that. But it is what it is at this point. That's their decision. But do you think that we will have another season 11?
I mean, it's been renewed, so
Oh
yes, we are
yeah.
having another
Oh
season.
yeah, sorry. Who do you think will
But
return?
who do I think will
Yeah.
return? Okay, I think God, it's so interesting. I don't know whether, like, because Kyle and Amanda have been, like, the constant, and Lindsay and
Yeah.
Carl. Well, really, Lindsay, Carl, and Kyle were the three OGs.
Hmm.
So to think that there, will be a season without any one of them is hard to imagine, but it's
Yeah.
certainly possible. I did think before this happened, I thought that Kyle and Amanda were going to move fully over to In the City. Now, I don't,
Yeah.
obviously, probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think Amanda returns to Summer House. Does she return
Okay.
to In the City? Question mark.
Okay.
I don't think she returns to Summer House. I do actually probably think Kyle does. I could see its thing where like maybe Kyle doesn't come every weekend, but like
Whole DJ.
yeah, kind of like
That-
Lindsay did this season,
yeah.
where like she popped in and out like every other weekend or so. I could see that so that they can like keep him as a full time cast member technically, but like
Yeah.
kind of start to transition him over to In the City
Yeah.
full time. I think Carl, I don't think he goes to In the City, but I think there's a world where he comes back to like kind of explore a relationship with Bailey.
Hmm.
West, I'm gonna say no if Sierra returns. I think Sierra will return if she wants to return,
Hmm.
obviously. Like, I think it's her choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see a world where she agrees to come back only if West and Amanda both don't. So I think that because she doesn't want a situation like Ariana did, where like she was expected to have these conversations with Tom and no, but she didn't want, she refused to do it, and everybody got mad at her and blah blah blah. So I think Sierra probably doesn't want to go through that, and so we'll say like I will only come back if neither of them do, and they'll choose Sierra over either of them.
Yeah.
So I think in that case, we say Sierra comes back, West doesn't. I think Jesse will come back. I think probably most of the newbies except Levi and maybe not Ben potentially.
Yeah.
But then KJ, Dara, yeah, Mia obviously. I think I could see them all returning, and then maybe bring in like two newbies.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like Sierra only will come back as long as Wes and Amanda don't. So, and I don't see Amanda coming back for sure. I think Wes wants to, but I think he'll be like, okay, I'll let Sierra take this one.
Well, I don't think he'll have a
Oh yeah,
choice.
he
I
won't really have a
mean, I think
choice.
he'll come back if he's asked back, whether
Oh
whoever
yeah,
does or not. But
but
I don't think that
Bravo will
Sierra
ask
would.
Sierra.
I think Sierra,
Yeah,
like Sierra's their priority.
yeah.
Now, here's a question: she's hosting Love Island After Sun, which goes into at least like a week or so, usually into when Summer House would start filming on July 4th weekend.
Oh
Summer
yeah,
Love Island usually goes about a week later than that. So if Sierra does come back, she would probably be a week late unless someone fills in for her for the last week, which they could do like they did for Mora last year.
yeah.
So
No, that's true. Well, I'm excited to see
we're gonna know.
Sierra.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna know pretty soon because I would
yeah. They have to start filming
say,
soon.
well, they start filming in a month,
Yeah,
so we'll know in about a month what's gonna happen. But this is gonna be very interesting.
yeah. This will definitely be interesting to see. And as we also kind of alluded to some of it, but In the City has started as well. So now this season is still airing. We've had 2 episodes already drop. So what are your thoughts so far in The City?
I've enjoyed it. I think I would probably enjoy it more if we didn't know knowing now about the West and Amanda situation because so much of it is focused on Amanda and Kyle's relationship
I know.
devolving. And so now that kind of feels out of date.
Yeah.
So like I think it would be more interesting if it felt like that was a little more relevant,
Yeah,
but
we know they're not together. Like and
right,
they
or
start the
not even we
season.
know they're not together, but we know that like either Amanda's hiding something or like this hadn't started yet, and it just feels very like let's get to current times, like this
Yeah.
reunion is. So, but I think overall, I have enjoyed it, and I think that the newbies have a lot of
Oh
potential.
yeah.
I like them. I like the vibe of it. I think that it's a smart way to move some of these people like Lindsay on who can't be in the summer house full time anymore. And so it gives her a platform to show off a lot of her other friends we hadn't met before. And
Yeah.
it seems like she is kind of the connector
And
of
we
the
get to
group.
see her daughter,
Hmm.
Gemma. She's so cute.
Yeah,
So
she is.
So yeah, no, I enjoy it too. I feel like besides for the fact that we know what's happened now, like it does feel outdated, but it's interesting to see like a little bit more of a glimpse into the relationship at this point because we only saw it from the summer. They were only like obviously fighting a lot, and so it seems like at this point it did feel like, I mean, we don't know if she's being genuine or not, but it did seem like Amanda was still trying a little bit with Kyle. Like in the summer, it really didn't seem like that at all. And then now it's like, okay, well, they were going to couples therapy and like trying things out, but it just ultimately wasn't going to work out kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then, like, so when does Wes come into the picture here? You know, so it's like we just don't know.
We see him and Ciara next week.
Yeah.
In the preview. That
Oh,
they,
true.
oh, that was hard.
They go on a double date.
It was hard even to watch that, like, 1 second of it. I was like, oh, God, this is going to be painful next week to watch this.
No, that stuff is what's crazy, too. It's like, because we know the downfall of the friendships there. So it's like, so watching it back is obviously interesting with all of that we know now. Mm-hmm. But I'm enjoying.
We're getting closer to the timeline of when this relationship started. Yeah. So now it's even like, I feel like we're watching it more closely to be like, okay, like we're getting closer here. Like, is there something? So we're going to be watching that scene with a close eye.
Oh, for sure. I'm excited for that. But I think that's all for Summer House, unless you have any other thoughts on the reunion season, what's in the city. I know I almost want to say summer in the city, but it's just in the city.
Hey, that could be if they need to for some reason stop doing Summer House. Yeah. But no, look, it was the highest rated episode of Summer House of all time. Part 1 of the reunion.
That makes sense.
Getting close to 1 million viewers, and which, you know, is not, back in the day, would not have been considered a lot of viewers on cable, but today, yeah, that's a lot compared to any other Bravo show these days. And I think it's become this phenomenon, and I'm curious to see if they can hold on to this momentum, because Vanderpump Rules, I keep comparing it to, but it is kind of the most similar situation. You know, season 11 continue to do better than the pre-Scandival episodes had in the recent years before that. But then, of course, as soon as they did a reboot, lost 80% of the viewers. So I'm curious, like, because I feel like I would assume that it'll be kind of some combination where it's not going to be a complete reboot, but they are going to probably lose some people, some main players here, and bring in at least a few newbies. So it'll be kind of like an interesting, different tactic, I would assume, than Vanderpump did. And so I wonder if that will continue now that a lot of people have started to gain interest in the show, whether they will continue next year watching.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing people who don't even watch Summer House talking about it on social media just because they know it's all in the news of what's happening and seeing all the clips online too. So it's definitely getting a lot of traction and increasing the fan base there. It's just who's going to stay on and who's going to continue the drama or not drama. If it's less chaos next summer, probably.
I think what they need to do is just not fully focus on this scandal next summer, no matter who comes back or whatever. Like, have it be a topic of conversation. If any of them come back, of course it will be. But don't try to do it like season 11 of Vanderpump, where it was the only story, and forcing Ariana to have a conversation with Tom that she, in her very rightfully, refused to do. And making the entire season about that. You can't do that because it's not sustainable. So I hope that they've learned their lesson.
Definitely. So we'll just have to wait to see what happens there. But I think that's all for today, and we'll be back again chatting with y'all soon. Love Island starting on Wednesday, which is super exciting. So don't forget, because you'll get caught behind if you don't start.
Oh, Love Island is very easy to get left behind. So start it early, start it right away, and keep up. And we will be recapping that at least on a weekly basis. Maybe if there's a ton going on, we'll try to sneak in a second episode here and there to not have to cover too much. I'll cram it all in 1 week, but because it's a show that a lot happens. But we will certainly be keeping up with it. Very excited for that.
Yes, for sure. So thank you so much for listening, everyone. Be sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts, and Give us 5-star review. Also, while you're there, follow us on social media as well. Let's Chat Reality. So we'll be back again with y'all soon. Thanks so much for listening.
Bye, everyone.